Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Echo. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on its show. But if you want to support the people that made this game and are making other games, you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month for, early access to other games. So, on the last Let's Play, Jenna found a letter, or something in there which turned out to be a letter, but the smoke monster was not going to let her, get it. But then, thanks to Carl, we were able to get it, and her. But she was about to burn it, because, possessed by ghosts and stuff. But then, we restrained her, told her to go in another room, while we read the note, and it seems like, John the fox thought the missing Masetta kids had something to do with James and something about political rivals, and James being like, hey, it sounds like you're saying this stuff. Come to my mansion so we can talk? Because, this is a big misunderstanding and whatnot. But then, as we finished reading the thing, a door opened. I think it's the front door, the one that will lead us out. Maybe? I don't know. All the new things that we've gotten so far is that somebody didn't want, I think James didn't want John to be hurt or anything like that. And then, the Masetta kids and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not sure if I've missed something entirely, but reset face. And continue with what could be the last episode. I don't know. If it's anything like Leo's route, it's going to be going on for a while. So, we all stand around the door, Carl to my right and Raven to my left. Raven and I making sure there's maximum distance between Jenna and Carl. This door is still shifted open a few inches, and the vertical black void it reveals is a little ominous. So we just go through, I guess like last time. I don't know, man. That's what we did last time, right? Yeah. I feel the real question is if we really want to go through the door in the first place. If it just is going to lead to another terrible place where terrible things happen, I feel a void similar to the one I'm looking at open up in my chest. I mean, it's either that or we just wait here until we die, I guess, or smoke monster attacks. The thought of being trapped in a loop, going through door after door that leads to nothing but horror. I mean, there are letters. Already this place was having an effect on Jenna that seems to be getting worse with each passing hour. How much longer can she keep it together? What did the letter say? I tense up. Anything she does now is putting me on edge, like I'm just waiting for her to lash out again. My hand drifts conspicuously to my pocket where the folded letter is. I glance to my right at Carl, but he's got his eyes on the door. A few things. Just more history stuff. About what? I sigh at that moment that I have to lie. We need to keep Jenna, or John, calm if we want to get through this. Feeling that Jenna, John, wouldn't want to hear about James revealing what I assume are secrets. I didn't read anything about John trying to sabotage James in my research, but maybe that's what James was trying to tell us? So I shrug my shoulders, move my hand away from my pocket. Stuff about the mine, how there wasn't enough of it to sustain the town. Yeah, I don't know. I'm worried Jenna might challenge my lie, for whatever reason. She doesn't say anything, though, and Carl just keeps on staring ahead. Straight ahead. Raven suddenly clasps his hands together, making Carl and I jump. So, should we open it? Raven reaches out. Wait. The husky pauses to look back at me, expectantly, his black ears tipped up forward. Should we do this? I mean, it's probably just going to lead to another place where we have to find another thing. Yeah? So maybe we shouldn't keep going? I stumble over my words, trying to piece together my feelings and put them into sentences as I go. Yeah, how I'm doing right now. I just think that they're not really on our side, you know? I make an effort to not look at Jenna. So if they're not, why are we doing what they want us to do? I realize I'm shaking now, and I make an effort to make my hands still. That's when I feel something big and warm slide into my right hand, and I glance down to find Carl holding it. He gives me a quick look as a small smile before returning his attention back to the door. What else should we do? Raven's tone isn't accusatory, but it is genuinely curious. I don't have a very good answer. Well, maybe we can find a way back somehow? Maybe we're still in Carl's house right now. Carl's house. The place seems like it's thousands of miles and years away at this point. Maybe we can, wake ourselves up somehow? Raven doesn't respond, and neither does anyone else. I realize how stupid I must sound. Sorry, I just feel like we're taking things too fast right now. Carl gives my hand another squeeze. Hey, dude, we're all a little scared. We can talk about things. Carl looks past me at Raven and Jenna. No rush. I'm actually starting to feel the same way. I feel my cheeks burn at the way I'm holding everyone back because I'm scared. So, when I had that guy in my head, I sort of felt like he was taking us somewhere. Carl runs a hand, not holding mine, to one of his horns, then scratching it. Hopefully I didn't pick the wrong thing. Like an endpoint, you know? Raven fidgets with one of his ears. Like a good endpoint? Yeah, man, I think so. That didn't sound very convincing. You can stay here if you want, Otter. It takes me a second to realize she's talking to me. Is she really that far gone? I just hope that if we reach the end of it, we can get her back somehow. Whoa, Jenna, that's crazy. I cough to clear my throat. No, I'll go. I just want to think about it for a second. Have you thought about it then? Yeah. I look at Carl, but he only offers me a shrug and a comforting rub on the shoulder. Well, if that's all then, let's go. Jenna steps forward to grab the door handle, and I bite my tongue to keep from saying that we should wait again. The door swings open to reveal blackness, just like last time. Unlike last time, though, there's a spot of flickering light in the distance. The fire. Eventually, everything's quiet right now. No drum beat, but the darkness isn't natural. It's inky, thick, like it's alive. I get the unnerving feeling that it's trying to eat the light from the fire. Maybe towards the fire? Jenna suddenly steps forward, and just like that, she's swallowed by the darkness. Jenna, wait! She ignores me. Carl gives his shoulders another shrug. Well, if she's being persuaded, I guess she probably knows what she's doing. I see her her form pass in front of the firelight a few times, then she's gone. Alright, here we go. Despite his nervousness, Raven still sounds cheerful about stepping into oblivion. You ready, dude? I look over at Carl, and he's gazing back at me warmly, an encouraging smile on his face. Dude, I'm reaching my limits too. If you have to do another place like this. His ears droop, looking almost defeated. I nod, swallowing as quietly as I can. Ooh. He pulls me to his side, by the hand, and wraps an arm around his shoulder. Just stay close, okay? Yeah. I step forward with him, and they immediately were immersed in blackness. Not only do things go dark visually, but the change is physical too. I don't know if it's all my head, but I feel heavier, like the darkness is pushing down my shoulders. It's colder too, to the point where I can feel the heat radiating off Carl's body when I brush up against him. Doing okay, man? Yeah, You? Yeah, I'm good. The going is slow, and not just because of my injured, probably broken ankle. The ground isn't even and rocky, like we're outside, walking in the desert. Which I realize is exactly what we're doing. We walk straight into what feels like sagebrush. Carl thrashes around, with a hand not holding on to me, and we're able to sort of stumble around it. Where the hell are we? I mutter as I stub my toe painfully on a rock. Outside? Yeah, but where outside? The desert, right? So, do you think that we're still in Echo? Carl was quiet for a moment. Maybe, but not really. I mean, I don't think we can just walk to our houses. I wonder if maybe all the others, TJ, Leo, and Flynn, are out there too, in the darkness. I want to call out, but I'm too nervous that's going to attract something to us. I still remember the black figure dancing around the fire we were walking towards at that very moment. We're close enough now that I'm starting to be able to make out Carl in the darkness. I look back at the house to see how far I've gone. All I can make out are two rectangles of light. One for the door we came out of, and one for the kitchen window. In the latter, a dark figure stands framed by the faint light inside. I squint, not really sure what I'm seeing. Then it moves, disappearing from the window. I stop walking, and Carl stops with me, looking back over his shoulder. What? I don't... Did one of the others go back? The black figure appears again, this time in the door of the house. I don't even have time to react before it steps forward and the door swings shut with a distant snap. Oppressive blackness takes its place. I grab onto Carl more tightly. What the hell? My mind flashes back to the black thing I'd seen crawling out of the wardrobe. Come on! I nudge into Carl's side, trying to get him to hurry, along with resisting the urge to try and run on my twisted ankle. I'm realizing it might come to that. Raven, Jenna! I call into the darkness ahead of us, wind to warn them. Over a ragged breathing, though, there's dead silence all around us, except for a drum beat. Either way, either they can't hear us, or they can't respond. Carl's gripping on me with both of his hands, practically hauling me off my feet as he pulls me along. Suddenly, he stops. What the fuck am I doing? He lets go and crouches down in front of me, on my back. I'm there before he even finishes the sentence, and soon my face is bouncing off his hard skull as he starts sprinting towards the fire. Either it's in my head or not. I swear I can hear a slithering sound behind me, like a snake sliding over dry leaves. I shiver, not wanting to look back, but I do anyway, to try and peer into the darkness. Of course I can't see anything, but I swear something flashes in front of the lone rectangle of light coming from the cabin kitchen window. The rustling sound gets louder, and now I can't pretend that I'm imagining it. It casts a picture into my mind. That black shadow creature, contorting and bending through the sagebrush that Carl was having so much trouble moving through. I hold onto one of its horns and lean forward towards his ear. Carl, it's getting close. And then my stomach lurches as it feels like the floor just suddenly drops away. Next thing I know, my face smacks hard into the back of Carl's head before I flip over, landing on my back in what feels like a sea of sharp rocks. I lay there for a second, dazed, staring at the black ocean above me, wondering if any of this is real. Am I still dreaming? Maybe I'll just wake up in my dorm, probably late to my legal and ethical issues in journalism class. Fuck, are you okay? A muffled voice breaks the haze of confusion and pain. Then I'm being yanked back up as Carl pulls me to my feet and clumsily shoves me back onto his back. Sorry. It's fine. I can barely mumble through my numb mouth, which feels like it's full of pennies. I can see I'm making dark stains on the back of Carl's shirt. Feels like my face is caved in. I wonder if my nose is broken, but the fear of the pursuit is returning, and I quickly clutch at Carl's horns before he resumes the sprint. We finally come to a stumbling halt in front of the massive bonfire, which looks so small from the cabin. We both stare up at it, the heat almost unbearable. The whispers behind me reach crescendo, hissing just over my shoulder. What are you supposed to do? My voice raises in pitch as I look back behind us, the black shape now discernible in the firelight as it slithers around the rocks and sagebrush. It's like a person imitating a snake. I grip onto Carl as he turns to face it, then takes a step back, then another. I don't know. I cling to the ram, and I can feel him trembling underneath me. As the creature reaches the edge of the circle of firelight, Carl turns and starts running past the fire. And then I must seize up. My jaw clenches, my eyes roll back, and I feel myself falling backwards. The heat is almost unbearable, and my fur is damp from sweat, the skin underneath itching and uncomfortable. I can feel the sun in my face, the brightness turning the insides of my eyelids dazzling red. I don't want to open them, though. No, I just want to sleep. I almost do fall asleep, but a distant chorus of shouts and screams jolt me back awake. Now, I do try to open my eyes, but I can't. It's like they're glued shut. I reach up a paw at them, but my arms won't lift. I must be stuck in a paralysis. So I lay there, listening to the shouting and screaming, imagining an angry mob. After what seems like hours, the voices fade, and the red turns deeper, darker, blood-like, as if the sun's setting. And that's when I can finally drift away, back to sleep. A soft, choking moan brings back to the surface. I'm still hot and sweaty, but the blazing sun isn't shining in my face anymore. I hook on my fingers and shift my arms a bit, feeling them glide over the fabric. At least, I'm not paralyzed anymore. Another moan, followed by coughing sounds, forces my eyes open, realizing it's not part of a dream. Damn it! I stare up at the ceiling, a textured beige ceiling. I'm back at the room where I'd slept. How long ago? A day? A few days? It doesn't matter, because everything comes back to me at once. I feel like lead weight has been dropped on my chest, knocking the wind out of me. Fuck, is this not over? Now, I'm starting to become convinced that this is never going to end. We're stuck in a loop, just like in my dreams. Another moan, slightly weaker, makes you sit up and look around the room. I'm alone as far as I can tell. Where are the others? Am I actually alone? I can't stop a soft whimper come from my mouth, and thought of being separated from the others. I was barely keeping it together with Carl, but without him... A loud cough through the wall behind me makes jump again. I quickly slide off the bed and immediately cringe as my weight comes to rest on my swollen ankle. I sang against the bed for a moment, squinting my eyes shut as I wonder why my ankle is the only thing getting stiffer. Is only getting stiffer. Maybe the fall Carl had taken made it even worse. The thought that those moans could be coming from Carl spurs me to straighten up and carefully hop towards the door. I have to stifle a short yelp with every bounce, and by the time I reach the doorframe, I have to lean against it to catch my breath. My hands shake as I rub my eyes, the pain making me wonder if I'll ever be able to walk without a limp again. Another groan from the room next to me forced me to move again. In the hallway now, I'm able to make out the sounds a bit better and realize it's a feminine quality to it. Jenna? My voice comes out crackly, in a cracky squeak, and I grunt to clear my throat. Jenna! I try again and wait, but I get no response in turn. I force myself to step into the hallway, clinging to the wall for support. When I look down the hall to the door next to mine, I find something very familiar. A damaged wooden door, the middle bulging and splintered out, if something had hit it from the other side. Memories of a bad smell, a dark, concrete room, and a noose. I hold tight to the door frame, feeling my knees tremble, both from the pain and from fear. I look behind me, hoping to see Carl, maybe even Raven. A shuffling sound, followed by another cough and gurgle, draws my eyes back to the door. If it's Jenna, I have to act now. I steady myself against the wall, hop slowly to the door, eyes watering with pain now. Reaching out with a shaken hand, I start to slowly push at the door. I'm hoping I might be able to crack it open, just a little bit, to not draw the attention of whatever's inside. The door only shifts a little enough and seems to catch on the ground underneath it. It lets out a rough scratching sound that makes my fur raise up. Gritting my teeth, I forgo the stealthy approach and give it a hard shove. This time, it opens halfway, and I'm able to see into the room. Just like last time, there's no light coming from within the room itself. Instead, I have to rely on the dim yellow light coming from the hallway. It casts a widening band of light into the concrete room as the door opens. The smell hits me like a wave, and I immediately gag, doubling over and pressing a hand to my nose before pulling up the neck of my shirt over my nose. Sure, I smell like BO from the 2 days of running in fear, but it's better than the sweet smell of rotting meat that's enveloping me. Still shaking, I peer into the room while I lean against the door, but I'm only able to see cracked concrete floor and walls. The grunting and choking sounds reach its peak now, and it's coming from beyond the band of light. It's an inky blackness that isn't all that different from what Carl and I had run through. Hello? No response. It sounded like the grunting stopped too. Shit, I have to do something now. I think about just kicking the door open and jumping back, but then I remember there's really nothing I can do with my feet now. Taking a deep breath, I set both hands against the door. I steel myself for what I'm ever about to see, then shove the door as hard as I can. The door swings in suddenly, scraping horribly against the floor the entire way. I yelp at the suddenness of it all, the tension all exploding out of me at once as I jump back in fear. The band of light widens, sweeping over the entirety of the concrete room, before the door finally lodges against the wall with a snapping sound. I almost lose my balance, arms swinging around cartoonishly as I try to hop on one foot. At the same time, I fearfully eye the opening, terrified of what I'm about to see. I have a hunch, and what I do see is definitely terrifying. It's Jenna in the middle of the room. She's hanging from the noose, her muzzle tilted up, and I'm able to clearly see the rope dangling into the fur on her neck, painfully tight. Her toes barely touching the floor, but doesn't even look like she's trying to keep herself up. It looks like she's unconscious. Jenna! There's no response, and I find myself leaping in her direction. I forget about my ankle until all of my weight comes down on it twice in my mad dash, and I literally scream as it happens. There isn't any time to worry about it, though, as I grab Jenna, unsure of what to do. First, I try to wrap my arms around her and lift her up, screaming again as I set my weight down my foot. She doesn't respond to any of this, and just hangs limp in my arms, which terrifies me even more. I reach up and pluck uselessly at the hangman's knot that I immediately know isn't going to budge no matter how much I pull. Carl, help! I feel myself starting to panic. Desperately, I look around, trying to find something, anything, I might be able to use to cut the rope. Jenna? I call up to her. I can't see her eyes from this angle, but I can't feel any movement in her. I try to press my ear against her chest, but I'm not sure if I'm doing it in the right spot. I try to quiet my breathing and actually listen, but I can't hear anything. Shit, Carl! I feel my eyes start to hyperventilate and try again to slow my breathing. I pass out right now, I'm gonna be less help than I already am. The world is starting to take on a surreal tint, and I think I'm actually dreaming. I think about running to the kitchen, but I don't want to let her go, especially since I feel like she's on the edge of dying right now. I reach up again and start trying to warm my fingers underneath the rope, but it's useless. It's way too tight. My eyes start to water as I realize I'm not helping her at all right now, aside from maybe taking a little pressure off her neck. But it might be too late anyway. Help! I'm suddenly hyper aware of the screaming pain in my ankle, and I feel it giving out. So are my arms, burdened from the strain of trying to hold Jenna up. I press my face against her chest, feel myself start to give up on everything. And then suddenly, the weight disappears, and I feel Jenna lift up several inches into the air. I look up to see Carl next to me, his big arms easily able to keep the fox off the ground. Not only that, but he's got a knife in one hand. I recognize it as the same knife Carl had used earlier in the hallway. Carl? Okay. Carl! I sobbed with relief, as he sensed the sawing of rope, and soon all three of us can crash into the ground, as Jen is cut free. We lay there, in a heaving heap. The only sound is our gasps, as we all try to catch our breaths, Jenna being the loudest. After a while, I sit up to look over at her. She's already sitting up herself, one hand to her neck, rubbing at it. Are you okay? I reach out to her. I'm fine. Okay would probably be the word. I'm not sure about fine. She leans away a little from my hand, so I drop it. I thought you were gonna die, Jenna. My voice is all shuddery, and I struggle to keep my emotions under control, to not have a panic attack. Whatever was controlling this whole scenario just tried to kill one of us. But then, I guess that already happened with the shadow creature thing, and even with what's happened with Raven. We haven't seen anything happen with Raven. Hopefully he's okay. He seemed like a good boy. Jenna picks up the knife and brings it to her neck, starting to saw away at the rope. I can't help. She ignores me. I look over at Carl and see that he's flat on his back, arms spread out. Thank you, Carl. I don't know what I'd do if I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't shown up. Carl raises his hand in acknowledgement. How the hell did you get a knife? Carl takes a few more gasps to catch his breath. I heard you and you guys and saw that. He gestures at the hanging rope. The end of it frizzled out from the cut. Remember that knife I dropped when we were here before? Thank God. We lay there a while longer, Jenna busily hacking at the rope, Carl choosing to stare up at the ceiling. That almost peaceful silence is shattered as a husky stumbles in the doorframe, grasping the wall as he practically trips in. I'm glad he's alive. Whoa, hey guys. He grins, waving a hand at us as he rights himself. He looks around at us, taking in the scene. What happened? Jenna got hanged. Carl cut her down. There's really no way to sugarcoat it. Oh crap. He stares wide at Jenna. Well, I guess it's surprising it wasn't me this time, huh? He lets a high-pitched, nervous laugh. None of us even crack a smile. Are you okay, though? Fine. Raven looks around the room. Well, it looks like we're still here. Carl lets out a big, shuddery breath. I don't know if I can do this anymore. What do you mean? We're stuck. I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Just keep looking around. Or finding stuff, right? This is a video game. We just need to find one more thing. Rule of threes. And then what? Get sucked into another fucked up place where we'll be chased around and almost killed? He waves a hand over at Jenna's direction. Look at what just happened. It wants us dead. Carl. Trail off. What? I try to think of something to say. Anything that might convince the ram to keep going. Just a while ago, minutes, hours, days, I was having the same doubts. But for some reason, Carl's sudden demeanor of defeat has me more motivated. Because if Carl gives up, what else is there to keep me going? A soft snap, and I look over to see that Jenna has pulled that rope from her throat. "How's your neck?" Jenna rubs it. "Fine." Her voice has an air of complete disinterest despite the situation. She seems distracted too, her eyes flickering around at the ceiling like she's expecting something to happen up there. I look up too, but all I see is concrete that's spiderwebbed with cracks. The rope, I notice, is hanging from nothing. It sort of just grows out of the ceiling. Carl lets out another sign next to me. "Wish I had a joint." I feel a small flicker of annoyance. And how will that help with anything? Carl's quiet for a moment, clearly sensing the change in my mood. I immediately regret it, but I don't have the energy to take it back, because it might make me feel a little better. By making you feel less, we need to be alert right now, so we can figure this out. I'm bringing my tone back down to normal, realizing how unfair it would be if I get mad at Carl right now. I don't know if we can, though. Carl's lips tug into a frown, and it looks like he's trying to keep himself from crying. Before I can say anything to comfort him, Jenna speaks up. "You will." Her voice is dark, firm, and completely unlike the way Jenna's ever spoken before. We both look at her, and she sits there, legs crossed, staring hard at us. Well, at me. Carl sits up. "Jenna?" Jenna doesn't look at him. Instead, she keeps looking at me. "John?" Now, she does look at Carl, and it's out of instinct. Her eyes dart to him before looking back at me. I recognize it as that almost unstoppable urge to look the way you hear your name being called. Yeah, we suspected, and Jenna had been acting weird, but to think that she was that consumed by him. Carl glances at me meaningfully. We haven't asked her directly about it yet, so I guess now's the time. "Hey, Jenna, are you feeling okay?" Ugh. It isn't. I thought we were like at 20 minutes, not at 30 minutes. We might be able to go over. "I'm feeling fine. It's just that you haven't seemed yourself for a while now." "What do you mean?" I look over at Carl, and he shifts himself around on the floor. "Listen, when we first got here, and even a while before then, I was feeling weird." Carl pauses as he seems to be searching for the right words. Sort of like something had been a part of me. Jenna narrows her eyes at Carl, but doesn't say anything. There was another voice in my head, almost, and after a while, I knew it was that guy, James, in my head. "Sounds like you're going crazy." Carl frowns. "Maybe, but he was making me act different, feel different, and it was kind of fucked up, to be honest. Weird. Yeah, weird. But it was easy to get him out of my head." Carl points to his horns. "And now, he's not here anymore, or there anymore." Jenna keeps that stern look on her face, frowning at Carl. "What are you trying to say?" "Well, do you know a guy named John Begay?" "Not really. You keep mentioning him, but no one's told me who he is, aside from the fact he was hanged." I remembered the picture I had taken of John back in Carl's crawl space. My hand feels to my phone through my pocket as I almost reach in to pull it out before remembering that it's dead. He was in some of the pictures with James Hendricks, the founder of the town. Jenna stares at me blankly. "James was Carl's ancestor, right? We think that John was your ancestor too. He was a fox, and he has the same last name." So, wasn't your family an echo since the beginning?" "Yes." "So, it seems like you're probably related to him, right?" Jenna stares hard at me, then at Carl. "Our family doesn't have records like yours, Carl." Carl frowns again. "You say that like it's my fault. Maybe it is. Carl starts to sputter again, but I cut off before he can defend himself. See, Jenna doesn't want to talk like that. Wait, Jen doesn't like to talk like that. You wouldn't say something like that. Jen doesn't say anything, keeping up her glare at Carl. Carl clears his throat nervously. What I'm trying to say is that maybe your ancestor is in your head like mine was? I don't think so. Carl lets out a frustrated sigh. I mean, something's different with you, dude. I can see it. Chase can see it. I nod in confirmation. Raven suddenly cuts in. I mean, I don't know you that well, but if we're going by how a normal person acts, you're not acting very normal. We're not in a normal situation like that, are we? Carl shakes his head. I know, you can resist it, like I did, Jenna. You've always had a really strong mind, and way stronger than mine. Carl swallows. So, it shouldn't be a problem for you to stop like I did. Jenna shrugs. Nothing's wrong with me, Carl. We all go quiet then. Besides, this isn't about clearing James's name, or whatever. Why are we talking about John? Jenna stares at Carl, eyes moving across his face, like she's searching for something. Carl stares hard, right back at her. Unless you don't want to fight it? Jen's expression remains emotionless. I mean, are you letting him? I don't know, Carl. Are you letting him control you? No, I already told you I fought him out. How do you know that's true? Carl throws his hands up. Dude, why would I lie? Carl looks at me for some help. Yeah, Carl's way different than he was earlier. He's himself now. But how do you know that? I don't know what else to say to Jen to convince her. Of course, I can't be completely sure. The only person that can know is Carl. He says he isn't possessed anymore, and I trust him on that. Jenna, he isn't, I promise. Wait, oh, that's James. You think James kept his promises? Carl and I share a look. Jenna, what do you mean by that? A strange look crosses Jen's face, breaking out of stoic attachment she's betraying for the last however long it's been. It's confused, it's also like she wants to say something with her mouth open. Jenna? She seems to be frozen like that for a moment, before she seems to finally give up, shaking her head. I don't know. She glares at Carl. He blanches defensively. What? You keep acting like it's my fault. Maybe it is. This time, Raven cuts in before Carl can say anything. Is James stopping John from saying something? I watch Jenna closely, and that's when she finally looks away. I don't know. Jenna, are John and James upset with one another? Jenna shrugs, not looking at me. Carl lets out a sigh of frustration. Jenna, we need to figure this out. Listen, I don't know much about these guys, but it sounds like James and John are trying to tell us something. Raven looks back and forth between Carl and Jenna, and trying to stop the other from telling us something. I rub my face with my hands, feeling frustrated, just wishing these two assholes could tell us what it is they want to say. So they're trying to tell us something about the past they both don't want us to know that the other knows. Maybe that's what we're supposed to figure out? So it's not as simple as just clearing James's name. John has something to say too, but he sure as hell wants us to hear it. I close my eyes. We're stuck in the middle of a possessed ghost fight, with each of them trying to tell us their version of a story. The whole situation sounds ridiculous, insane, but I really don't have anything else to go off of. Did you find anything out about them in the crawl space? I try to think back. Like I said, they both got convicted of sodomy. John was hanged, and James left to start his ice cream business. So why wasn't James hanged too? His influence in the town, probably. Well, I can see that might cause problems between the two of them. I look over at Carl, who's still looking at Jenna. Jenna's picking at the rope in her lap. Hey, did James tell you anything while you're under his influence? Like, did he say anything? Carl rubs his chin. Not really. It's weird. I just sort of feel different. Like I said, I wouldn't normally say, but I guess I never heard any voices. There isn't much more to talk about at this point. Unless one of the spirits decide to do something else that can help us along somehow. Are you gonna do it? Let me just... I'm not sure how much longer... I feel like we're pretty long, but I thought like at that point we're gonna come out of it, but it's like, nope, guess not. And I feel like even though this hasn't been a scene change, we might call it here. Uh, that's gonna that. I don't know. It's just like, well, right now I'm just looking through this thing. Okay, it seems like we might have gone to the part where we made a major choice. It's just I'm not sure um what's what is the changing point. Hmm. I guess that right now it's a good time to call it, I guess. That's the thing that's hard with doing visual novel things, especially one like Echo, because it's like, well, how much longer are we going to be going on? Because especially like in Leo's route, it just kept on going and going, and I was like, um, okay, are we at the end? Nope, we're at the end. Oh, we're free. Oh, we got captured, all that stuff. Oh well. It probably isn't going to end like two of the roots in the smoke room are like, this is the end. And then it just, wait, this is the new episode. And then it just ended. It's like, balls. But that's going to be the end of this Let's Play, I guess. So please comment, because I like comments. Tell what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and Lexi Chrome, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos type of Chrome. Please remember to spay new your animals to help control the pet population. I don't know how much longer this is going to be. We'll just have to see on the next episode, 2, 3, maybe another episode. So, right, I've been wanting to finish this. I might just need to have a tea break or something like that. Listen to a podcast for a hot minute, and then come back to this. Which, to you, it doesn't matter since it's just going to be next week anyways. But yeah, spay new your animals. If you want to play this game, itch.io. And until next one, it's me, GamerWolfSix Echo. Sorry for, pausing on this low point, but it do be like that. You have to pause somewhere, I guess. So thanks and see ya.